I'm watching on 2 different screens right now, so it's a little crazy. I've got Facebook Live down here. Hi, guys. And Instagram Live up there. So wherever you are, we come to you. I'm Mr. Paul, and we are going to do some art today. I just started teaching art a couple weeks ago at Palenke Arts, and I loved it. I love getting to come hang out with you guys and make art together, and I miss it. So I was talking with Mr. Juan, and we came up with the idea of doing some art together through social media. So before we get started, everybody who's watching from home, and it doesn't matter if you're a kid or a grown-up, if you live in this area or somewhere else in the world, everybody is welcome to hang out and make art with us. Go and grab some art supplies. Whatever you can find in your house will be just fine for today. I'm going to work on a big piece of cardboard that I found in our garage, and I'm going to use some oil pastels. But if you have pencils, crayons, markers, seriously, it doesn't matter. Whatever you have, it'll be just fine. So I'm going to give you a minute to go and grab some stuff, get some paper, or get some cardboard like me, and we're going to hang out and have art time. Because even though we can't hang out together in person right now, there is no reason why we can't still be creative and have fun together. And that'll hopefully help make this time go by a little bit faster and be more fun for everybody. All right, I need to adjust my lower screen again so you guys can see what I'm drawing. All right. No, now you can't see my face. Okay, well, we'll make this work. There we go. All right, so I want to tell you guys about a project that I'm doing right now and invite all of you to be a part of it. I'm a member of this volunteer group called the You Will Rise Project, and we do a lot of work to try to help incorporate art to make life better for people, especially people who are having a hard time. And right now, as we know, there are a lot of sick people all around the world, people who are in hospitals and are scared and lonely. And so I thought it would be really cool, since I know a whole lot of creative people like you, if we could make some art to help make them feel better. So this project is called Get Well World. We're using that as the hashtag and inviting people all over the world to make some art with us. And then we are going to print that art out and share it with people who are sick in hospitals all around the world. And we're also going to publish it online. So everything that you guys make today, I would love it when you're finished if you could take a picture of it and post it to social media and tag us. You could tag Palenke Arts, you could tag me, you could tag the You Will Rise Project, but just use hashtag GetWellWorld and we'll find it and we'll share it. So everybody can draw whatever you want today, every day, actually. There are no rules in art. I was teaching a class the other day with some kids and I said, you know, the only rule of art is that there are no rules. And the one kid was like, that doesn't make any sense, Mr. Paul. But it's true. Everybody sees the world differently. Everybody's art is going to look different. And that's awesome. That's part of what makes it so cool. So I want you to think about something that might make you happy or make you feel better if you weren't feeling good or if you were having a bad day, and maybe that's what you could draw. It could be something from your imagination. It could be anything. It could be a video game character, whatever you like. I like unicorns. So I'm going to draw a unicorn today. If you don't know what to draw, if you want to draw a unicorn too, you are welcome to draw along with me. But you're also welcome to draw your own thing, draw whatever you want. The most important thing is that we're all being creative and having fun and making art together. So I have this set of oil pastels here. They've kind of been much used, much loved, probably by some of you guys at Palenke. I'm sure I brought these there. So I'm going to draw on this piece of cardboard. And one of the things that I always tell people who maybe don't do a lot of drawing, maybe if you feel like you're not very good at it or you're nervous, get over it. That's what I tell people, but I say it nicer than that. Really, I think everybody in the world is an artist. And hopefully you feel that way too. So if you don't know how to start though, I always tell people to look for shapes. Everything in the world is made up of shapes, including unicorns. So what shapes do you think our unicorn might be? Sorry guys, you're looking at my chin down there on Facebook. Good thing I just shaved. All right, I'm going to start with a big oval. Let's never tried drawing a unicorn upside down before. This could be interesting. All right, but I'm going to try it this way so you guys can see what I'm doing. Let me get a darker one. That's not darker. Did you guys all have time to get your art supplies? If you're watching this, leave me a comment and let me know what you are drawing. There. Can you guys see that? It's beautiful. Wonky little oval, huh? All right, now I'm going to draw another one, a smaller one, up here. That's going to be unicorn's head. Doesn't really look like it yet, huh? It looks like a couple of jelly beans. But it's a start. You have to start somewhere. All right, now we need to give our unicorn some legs, I think. One. How many legs does a unicorn have? Well, I guess you can have as many legs as you want. But I'm going to give mine 4. I feel a lot like Bob Ross right now, by the way. Some of you guys are probably too young to know that reference, but Bob Ross was a very popular artist on TV when I was a kid, and he would always paint usually landscapes, and everybody at home could watch and make landscapes along with him. So now I'm like the new Bob Ross, only I'm doing unicorns because I like those a little better than landscapes. All right, let's see, what else? Well, we know a unicorn has to have a horn, so I'm going to draw that. And maybe an ear might be good. That's starting to look nice, huh? How about a tail? I don't know where to look where I can see it better. Maybe there. But don't you feel neglected, Instagram people, because I love you too. So are you guys finding any creative things to do with your time at home right now? I've been watching a lot of interesting art videos on Instagram and Facebook. Seems like there's a lot of cool ways that people are starting to kind of get connected. I like that. All right, we have an ear. We have a horn. What else do we need? Is it done? Probably not. Oh, we need some hair. Oh, that's a gorgeous hairdo. Do some little hooves. This same idea that I'm using here, even though this is kind of a silly cartoon drawing, but really you can use this idea of looking for shapes to draw anything in the world. Everything is made up of shapes. And all you have to do is just break it down into the most simple shapes and draw the shapes that you see, and then you can go back in and add the details and make it look really good. So don't ever be afraid to draw something just because it seems hard. Everything, including drawing a person, we're all just made out of shapes. All right, there's a fancy little unicorn hairdo. I'm going to have my unicorn's eye kind of closed, or maybe like, she's smiling or something. There, little smile. Little nose. I think that is looking spectacular. All right. Now the fun part. We have the shapes on there. Let me go over the lines and make them look good. Just the lines I want this time. Drawing upside down is interesting. You guys should all try it right now. Just stand on your head and start drawing. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. I think that the best way to learn about art is to draw whatever you like. When I was growing up, I had a wonderful art teacher. I went to her studio once a week, kind of like how a lot of you get to go to Palenke Arts and learn about music and art and all kinds of creative stuff there. I had a teacher who lived in my neighborhood, and I would go to her house every week, and she would teach me how to draw and paint, and she always let me choose whatever I wanted to draw and paint. She never said, you have to sit there and draw a bowl of fruit or something boring like that. She always let me pick. And that made it really fun for me. I think that is why I love art so much to this day. So being creative is really important. I'm just going over my outlines now. We need one more here. Swoop. Gorgeous. My hair is going to be this long by the time we're done with with all of this, because I haven't been able to go and get my hair cut. Nice. So when you're making your drawings, whatever it is you guys are drawing at home, think about the fact that we can share this art with people who aren't feeling good right now, and it's going to brighten their day and make them feel so much better. You guys are doing something really good for the community just by being creative. It's almost like we're making a giant get well card. We're going to share this with people who are sick in hospitals. We've already sent one big package of art to a hospital, and they are going to hang it up so that all the patients can see it and give each of the patients some prints. So it's a really good way to just use art to make people feel better. And I think that art also is a way to make ourselves feel better too. And that goes for music, that goes for everything creative. Writing, and of course drawing and painting, dancing, whatever you guys do. I hope you keep doing a lot of it, because we need artists, we need people to be creative right now more than ever. And I know, because I've hung out with you guys at Palenke Arts, I know you are creative. So you keep it up. Just because you're at home and maybe bored, go find some art supplies, go find something so you can keep making creative work. If you like video games, I know a lot of you do, that's cool. Play them, play your video games, but then take some time and imagine if you were going to make your own video game, what would it be like? What would you have the characters look like? What would you have the scenes look like? And maybe do some sketches of that, or do some, some designs of your own video game. It's a good idea to just keep being creative always, I think. Okay. Oh, this is such a cute little chubby unicorn. I I really like chubby unicorns. They're my favorites because I think they're extra cute. And just go one little trick that I like to do. You guys might want to try this sometimes with one of your drawings. After I go over the lines, I like to do one more pass and just make all the lines on the very outside a little bit extra thick. That's just a style thing. You don't have to. Actually, I always tell all of my students, you never have to do anything that I tell you as far as what changes to make in your art, because it's all just suggestions. You might have your own style that's totally different from mine. And that definitely sounded like something that Bob Ross would say, by the way. If you guys have never heard of Bob Ross, I highly suggest that you look him up on YouTube or something. I think maybe they have some of his old shows on Netflix. He's a really interesting dude. All right, I'm about done with the outlines, and then the fun part, coloring. Sorry, I got real serious and focused there. Forgot you guys were watching. That happens sometimes when we're making art. You know, one day, probably like 2 weeks ago now, 2 or 3 weeks ago, whenever it was the last time I was able to go to my art studio, I went there to paint, and I thought that I was going to stay and paint for maybe an hour or 2 hours, and then I got started working, and I got so into it and concentrating on the painting, and I looked up at the clock, and the next thing I knew, it had been 12 hours. That's a long time, huh? Sometimes I think when you're doing something you really love doing, time just kind of like, you don't even notice it. It goes by really fast. I don't think that this video today will be 12 hours. But if it is, you might want to just tell me, Paul, stop. Oops, my unicorn's trying to fly away. All right, let's do some coloring. Now, one thing that a lot of artists like to do is forget about the background. Hold on, I needed a little drink. But backgrounds are important parts of telling a story. If you only color the character and you don't put anything around it, we don't have any idea where this unicorn is, what's happening in the world around him or her. So I'm actually going to start with the background. Sometimes if you're using oil pastels like me, or crayons even, if you wear it down and you can't get any more of the pastel, you just have to peel a little bit of the paper off. See, and then there's a whole bunch more in there you can use. All right, so you don't have to color the whole thing corner to corner to make it have a background. Sometimes I just like to put a little bit of color in the background. Just enough to let us know that there's a sky back there, that there's something going on. Do you guys know the words foreground, middle ground, and background? Background is the farthest part away. So like in your window right now where you're watching me, the background is my fireplace. And then the foreground is the thing that is closest to you. So in your window, my drawing is the foreground, and I'm in the middle ground. So middle ground is the part that's in between the foreground and the background. So in my drawing, I don't know that there's really a middle ground, but there's definitely a background. That's the sky that I'm making. And then the foreground is our unicorn. What should the unicorn's name be anyway? Does anybody watching have any ideas? If you do, leave a comment and let me know what you think his name should be. I know some of you might end up watching this later instead of watching it live with us right now. You could still comment. Let us know what you think the unicorn's name should be. If you're watching this on Instagram, since I'm doing it in both places, Instagram and Facebook, if you're on Instagram, this video will stay up in the story for 24 hours. And then if you're watching it on Facebook, it'll stay in the story, or I mean on the page forever. So you can come back and draw this chubby little unicorn or whatever you want along with me over and over again. I don't remember exactly why it is that I got so into unicorns, but I have just always liked them. I like magical fantasy things, and unicorns usually seem nice and friendly, which is always a good thing. I actually even have a unicorn onesie, believe it or not. I almost wore it today, but then I thought that might be a little too much for our first video. So we'll wait and see. If you guys end up enjoying watching these and we do more, maybe the unicorn onesie will come out eventually. We'll see about that. All right, so now I have my background, sort of, although I want to do something else. I think I want to make some little stars. So I've got a white pastel. I'm just going to make some little stars in the background. When I make stars, I like to make them all different sizes, some small ones, some big ones. Maybe the unicorn's name should be Palenke. That's a good name. Or Juan. Should the unicorn's name be Juan? What do you think? I know he's watching. I see him down there. Everyone say wave to Mr. Juan. Hopefully Mr. Juan is at home working on a drawing of his own right now. I told him to get his art supplies ready. I bet that you guys are missing getting to go and hang out with Mr. Juan and all of the great teachers at Palenke, aren't you? Well, you just hang in there because we're going to get through this all very soon together, and then you guys are going to be back. I have no doubt. We all miss you very much. Okay. All right. Got a background. Now I'm going to color the unicorn. Since I mentioned video games earlier, I know a lot of people love video games, and there's a lot of people who are playing video games right now, like with groups online, doing things like on Twitch and different platforms so that you can play video games together. I think that's really cool. There's a lot of awesome games out there. But I don't know if you guys knew that video games are made by artists. Did you know that? I went to art school, and one of the things that I could have chosen to major in is video game design. So all of those characters that you see in the video games, all the backgrounds, all of that stuff is made by artists. So if you love art and if you're creative, that's something you could do. Now, one way that I kind of like to cheat and make it go quick is turn my oil pastel on its side. You can do that with crayons, with pencils even, just kind of put it on its side and it covers the area a little bit quicker. If there's a shortcut, why not? Because then that lets you get the boring part done and you can get to the fun part quicker. Is that a good life lesson? I don't know. But that's the Mr. Paul quote for today. That and everything is shapes. Remember that. That's important. You can draw anything in the world if you can look at it and just break it down into shapes. Got to go a little heavier to cover up my blue line. If that doesn't work, we'll just turn it into a shadow. Because there's no such thing as mistakes in art, so I'm just going to use a little blue and make a little shadow on our unicorn. That was actually another Bob Ross saying, there's no mistakes in art, only happy accidents. Which I like that. I like that theory. Because that actually made me think, oh, it might look cute to do a little blue shadow on a unicorn. I think that anybody who wants to be an artist can be an artist. I think what happens, though, is a lot of times people run into an issue, like a mistake or something goes wrong in their drawing, and they think that they've messed up or that they're not any good and they need to just give up. But every single artist in the world makes tons of mistakes. I make a lot of them all the time. And I think what makes you a really good artist is if you figure out how to solve the mistakes, how to turn it into something better. So don't get discouraged if you're drawing something and it doesn't look exactly like you want it to. That happens to everybody, but you can always fix it. You can always find something to do to make it better. Some little pink hooves. What do you think? If this unicorn came flying through, would that make you feel better if you were sick? It would make me happy, I think. I hope that you guys are all having fun drawing at home too right now. I see there's a lot of people watching us. That's cool. We will do more of these if you want to. Like I said, maybe I'll even bring out the unicorn onesie one time. We should all just have like a day where we hang out and make art together in our pajamas. I think that's one nice thing about being at home. You can wear your pajamas all day if you want to. Okay, got some pink in there. What colors do we want next? Maybe yellow for the horn. Now there's a little color mixing lesson for you. So I had some blue on there already, and then when I added the yellow, what color did it turn? Green. When you mix yellow and blue, that's what you get. Whatever material you are using, whether it's crayons or colored pencils or markers or whatever, I hope that you do a little bit of color mixing and blending. You don't have to just use the colors that you have. You can layer them. You can put, whether it's colored pencils, oil pastels, whatever, you can layer it and make it look more interesting just by combining different colors together. I think that's always a lot of fun to do. I could just hang out with you guys and color all day. Beautiful. All right, about purple now. Maybe some purple in the tail. What color should we do last? Up here. Any ideas? Maybe green. Haven't used that one yet. I have to keep looking up so I can see what my drawing looks like right side up. Okay, there we go. All right, now one other little thing that I like to do on some of my kind of cartoon drawings is to go back with white and just kind of add some little, I don't know, highlights along the edges of things. To me, that just kind of makes it pop a little bit more and look interesting. But that's another one of those style things. That's just something I like to do. See how it almost looks like, I don't know, like the light's hitting it a little or something. We'll do it up here too on the horn. Do a little bit on some of the legs. Got to do a little highlight on the unicorn butt. Cute. What do you think? Now I've got to do the most important part. Let's see, where can I put it? I'm going to do... Let's see. Hash. Oh, that's not going to show up. See, there's one of those mistakes or happy accidents we were talking about. All right, let me peel a little bit off of this purple. What I want to do is write the hashtag on there, the Get Well World. You can write it on your art too if you want. You don't have to, though. It's totally up to you. But I would love it if you guys make a drawing today. I would love it if you would post it and use the hashtag in the description. Say Get Well World, or you could tag Palenke Arts, and we'll make sure that I get to see it. But that way I can share all of your artwork with the patients in the hospitals, and it's going to brighten their day and make them feel better. Ooh, it's harder to write upside down. Let's see if I can do this. I have to really concentrate. Don't want to spell this wrong. Well, W-E-L-L. World. You know how to spell world? W-O-R-L-D. Get Well World. Ta-da! There's our unicorn. What do you think? All right, I hope you guys had fun hanging out, making some art with me. You don't have to be done now just because I'm signing off soon. I hope that you get to hang out and be creative and make art all day long. And then keep an eye on the Palenke Arts page because we're going to be doing a lot more art, and not just with me, but you get the chance to work with some of your other instructors too, and we'll find all kinds of creative ways to bring art to you, even at home, because the Palenke Arts family is still here for you. We still care about you, and we still want you to be creative, okay? So share your artwork with us. I can't wait to see it. Thank you for hanging out with me today. If you guys want to go online and see some of the other art that people have made for this project, just go to youwillriseproject.com/getwellworld. And then once you post your art, I'm going to publish it there too. Okay, so share your artwork, make lots of cool stuff, have fun, and remember, wash your hands, which is especially a good idea when they're covered with oil pastels. But even when they're not, it's a good thing to do right now. All right, I'm gonna climb up here and sign off. I don't have anybody here helping me, so this is gonna be the awkward part. But until next time, see you guys.